Hey, we're live, and the audio quality is probably a little bit better today. So we're back from Chicago, back visiting the Elkanses of the world. I got to have them on the podcast. It won't be a podcast today because I drove all over the place: Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota. And I'm tired, but now, let's get this angle. There we go. My glorious face. All right. Felix writes, "Hey Cappy, hope you're staying healthy and safe. If it's still 40 or less for each, I'd like you to do 2 Clarey tests, one on Joe Arpaio and Arthur Jones. Arthur J. Jones, not the football player that I just looked up, and then I found the Arthur J. Jones. Let's go with Arthur J. Jones, American neo-Nazi, member of the Republican Party. Is he really? Is he really? Because I don't know Wikipedia. I don't know. I think the Republican Party would kick him out. If they didn't, he should be kicked out. And who determines whether he's a neo-Nazi? Arthur J. Joseph Jones, American neo-Nazi member of the Republican Party. He's a Republican candidate for Illinois' 3rd congressional district in November of 2018. I have a hard time believing the Republicans would nominate knowingly a neo-Nazi. I want to know who wrote this Wikipedia entry. Losing to Dan Lipinski. Early life and career. Born in Beloit, Wisconsin. I was in that area. That is a shitty area. Not the town of Beloit, but that whole southern Wisconsin bordering on Illinois. It's just shit. It's boring ass farmland, but there's something else that's bad about it. I just don't like it. He was born to a Sunday school teacher and Arthur Joseph, factory worker, World War II veteran. Do we got the right guy? He's 72. Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. His dad would have been in his 90s by now. Okay. So he did come from wealth. Served in the United States Army in Vietnam War. He studied at the University of Wisconsin, majored in political science and journalism. Oh, what a shock. I'm going to give him a worthless degree, political science and journalism. That's just bullshit. Independent insurance broker, worked on commission sales for large insurance companies for 25 years. Was a member of the National Socialist White People's Party for 8 years and describes himself as a former leader of American Nazi Party. He has also been a member of the Populist Party, a far-right political party active in that. How a Nazi Made the Ballot, written by Elaine Godfrey. Okay, if he was a member of the National Socialists, The Atlantic. Holocaust denier who's running unopposed. Okay, if you're a Holocaust denier, doesn't make him a Nazi. Does describe himself as a Nazi. His party, however, does. Arthur Jones now prefers the term white racialist, he told The Atlantic, and even if he loses in November, his ability to share his extremist views has already been buoyed by a series of dramatic failures that led him to the ballot in the first place, from a state party unable to recruit an alternative candidate to a highly partisan district, to voters signing ballot access petition, blah, blah, blah. In an interview, Jones said he believes that white people are more intelligent than black people. 2 of his primary political goals, including ending America's war in the Middle East, which he says primarily serves the interest of Israel, and is cracking down on so-called sanctuary cities. I will work with the Ku Klux Klan, with socialists. I exclude communists, of course. Well, what's the difference between them and socialists? Same political is generally agreement with my beliefs. Insurance. Spent 8 years as a member of the National Socialist White People's Party, previously known as the American Nazi Party. Has been active with America First Committee since the 1980s. Illinois is there. Unless there's a link, lady. If he say, okay, here he says, all right. The Anti-Defamation League. Well, they say, huh? Look, it's totally possible he was. I'm not denying it, but I don't trust the Atlantic. I don't trust mainstream news. I don't. The Southern Poverty Law Center. That means nothing now. That means you just like America. News and the Holocaust. Who's disappointed in President Trump for appointing so many Jewish people to his cabinet? Okay, he's anti-Semitic. Okay, and even then, he told me. He said, is that what he said, Elaine? I'm not defending the guy. I'm questioning you, Elaine. Health insurance agent, spent 8 years as previously known. Full-throated. Okay, the state GOP has offered a full-throated condemnation of Jones' candidacy. The Illinois Republican Party actually have no place for Nazis like Arthur Jones. We strongly oppose his racist views, his candidacy for any public. Okay. Positions. Yeah, Elaine Godfrey. I'm sorry, Elaine. You. Let's see if we go to her Twitter. Again, this is not defending a Nazi. This is calling into question the journalistic integrity of the mainstream media, and in this particular case, Elaine Godfrey. We go to Elaine Godfrey. She has about us covering Dems for 2020. Atlanta, the good talks. DM me for a signal. Probably declare. It's just all of her articles in the Atlantic. Okay, I can't tell. All right. Well, good for her. Anyway, let us assume if you were in the Nazi Party for 8 years, that's pretty specific. I'll just assume he was. Let's just, for the argument's sake, I just have a big little asterisk there because you journalists have lost all credibility. And people who write Wikipedia entries, I think you look at Molyneux's entry, it's like, have you listened to the show? Do you know the man? Or did he say something you disagree with, that everybody who disagrees with me is a Nazi and therefore he's a Nazi? Populist Party. Perennial candidate, run for various offices since 1976. He was going to save the world. Never won an office. That year, Jones, mayor of Milwaukee. Alderman. He keeps jumping between Milwaukee and Chicago. Jones is a white now. Okay, they have several. Jewish Telegraphic Agency. Yes, I deny the Holocaust. All right, that's okay. I know it's CNN Chicago sometimes. No one. I'd like to hear him. Oh yeah. You got proof. Send me a link of him saying that. Although he was there during that time where the Nazis had that rally in the 70s. Any of you guys old enough to remember that? The neo-Nazis, I think it was in Illinois. Calls the Holocaust a racket. He claimed the Holocaust was the biggest, blackest lie in history. Jones also saluted Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan for his views on Jews. Well, he does hate Jews then. Neo-Nazi Jones. Okay, so he's off his rocker. No doubt about that. And he worked as an insurance guy, so it's real world working experience. The rest of it is just a political office that he ran for, which he's been running for since, gosh, I've been alive. No, not since I've been alive. Oh, yes, since I've been alive. Okay. So there's that crusaderism. He's going to change the world with a degree in political science and journalism. So, worthless degree. He does have real world experience. He's 72. I guess he could be retired now. He was not born to wealth. So no wealth, real world working experience, has a worthless degree, keeps running for office. Most of the entry is about him and his political career. I'm just going to assume he worked. He has private sector experience, and now he's 72. He can retire now, so it's a score of 2. Do I want to have a beer with a man? No, I do not want to have a beer with a man who hates Jews, let alone has any other kind of bigotry about him. And I more so, I'm just not that interested in someone who majors in political science or journalism. I'm not interested in somebody who wants power, and by evidence, by him constantly want to run for office. Should he run for office? No, he should not run for office. Reasons I stated before. So there we go. Let's go with Joe Arpaio. I thought it was Arapaho. For the longest time, I thought he was Indian. I'm like, he doesn't look Indian. It's Arpaio. Joe Arpaio. Oh, 87 years old. Wow. Okay, born 1932, former law enforcement officer and politician, served at 36 mayors of 24 years. Losing the re-election Democrat Paul Penzoni, starting in 2005. Outspoken stance on illegal immigration, styled himself America's toughest sheriff. Flashpoint, of course, racial profiling, police misconduct. Of course, agrees with federal lawsuits. Of course, he was, of course, pardoned by Donald Trump. Let's go to early life. Born in Springfield, Massachusetts. Italian. Oh, Italian. There you go. That's where it is. Okay. Mom died while giving birth to him. Raised by his dad, ran an Italian grocery store. Completed high school, worked at his father's business, and enlisted in the Army. Served from 50-54. Military policeman, Army discharge, moved to D.C., became a police officer. 57, moved to Vegas. Man, to be in Vegas in 1957, huh? Wouldn't have that been the bee's knees? Federal Bureau of Narcotics, DEA, 25. So he's a lifetime cop. Lifetime cop. And then he worked until he retired. Man, God, so if he 2015, 80, he was in his 80s? Did I do the math right on that? Yeah, he was in his 80s until he worked. Good for him. All right. Being a cop is public sector work, but it's real work. It's one of the few cases of real work in the public sector, unlike teachers or pretty much anyone else. So he did not come from wealth. I don't think he has a degree. Imagine that. Back in the days when you didn't need a degree because they just said, hey, you're smart enough to do the job, or maybe you had work experience. No, we need degrees because it's a sign of status. Status. Not status, status. So he doesn't have a stupid degree, although he's old enough he'd be grandfathered in. He doesn't have, he's worked his entire life, real world working experience. He worked until he was retired. And what was the other one? Didn't come from wealth. So he gets a perfect score of 0. Should he run for office? Hell yes. Would I love to have a beer with him? Absolutely. Absolutely. I absolutely would. Okay. All right, links to all the cool stuff down below. We got no super chats. Only Anthem. Clarey equals shitty chap. I am the best short man you know. I am the best chaparrito in El Mundo. See how diversity that was? What's best in Spanish? El Grande El Chaparrito del Mundo. All right, more coming up. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.